Love letters from yard. My whole family migrated to Atlanta when I was only 3 years old. It was the early 80s, and there was an exodus to England and America. I'm now in my late 20s, and it seems as if everybody is going back to Jamaica. My grandparents said they wanted to die at home. That's all they spoke about since they reached retirement age, so they left a year ago. My aunts, uncles, and even my parents were in various stages of packing to leave. They were tying up loose ends so that they could all make a mass migration back to the island. It's as if they all had the Jamaican fever. That's all they talk about these days. My family was from the mountainous parish of Trelawney. Though I have not been back since my early years, they have created a picture of lush greenery and mountainous hillsides overflowing with yam, the blue Caribbean sea sparkling like jewels in the distance, and the cool wind blowing through one's fingers in my mind's eye. I was enraptured every time I heard the name Jamaica. I was sitting in my aunt's library, drooling over a painting she had done of her hometown in Jamaica. It was a market scene done in oil, of a little boy with a mountainous pile of yams before him. I suddenly realized that my aunt was in the other room feverishly putting things together to leave Atlanta for good. I was not immune to her sudden need for home, heat, and island breezes. I could almost feel the sun on my skin. She was the next one to leave. She made up her mind ages ago, but she felt as if she was not sufficiently financially independent. Besides, her house in Jamaica was not yet finished. Now she had the go-ahead, and she was not wasting any time. My aunt was in her late 30s. She was incredibly attractive and had the warmest smile. We were more like sisters. After all, she was the youngest for my grandparents. "Aunt Beryl," I yelled, as I saw her scurrying past me with a small box wrapped in a pink bow. "Yes, Priscilla? I thought you came here to help me." I did. I just feel as if I should be going with you. I want to go to Jamaica." "Honey, you have a husband and children," she reminded me. "That's true, Beryl. Why don't you have a husband and kids to tie you down so that you can stay here with me?" I asked inquisitively. It was always a puzzle to me why an attractive woman like Beryl opted to stay single. I was always at a loss when I thought about what life would be like without my children and husband. I pitied anyone who thought that a career was even a close second to family. I expected her to give the standard reply, "Because I'm too busy for that sort of thing," when she said, "Pris." I looked up to see her sit on the couch before me. "I have not told anyone this yet, so don't run off and tell my big sister, okay?" she said, referring to my mother. "I promise," I piped up, eager to hear. "Well, I'm not going to tell you." She looked behind her. I opened my mouth in disappointment. "Beryl, that is not fair. I'm begging you." "Let me finish, young one." She handed to me the box she was clutching. "I'm going to show you." I took it from her reverently, sensing that there was something powerful inside. "I have an emergency at the hospital. By the time I get back, all my papers should be in that crate." She pointed to her once neat haul and gave me a stern look. I nodded distractedly. I could not wait for her to leave so that I could delve inside the box. She stood at the door, her coat in hand, and said, "That's my life, handle with care." When Aunt Beryl left, I untied the bow from around the box hurriedly. Then the telephone rang. "Oh, hell!" I shouted at the ringing instrument. "Hello, Dr. Brown's residence," I answered coldly. "Oh, hi, Pris, it's you." "Hi, Mom. I'm helping Aunt B with some things." "Is she there?" "No, she had an emergency at the hospital. Somebody's baby's coming early." "Okay, then, I will call back. Is she through packing?" "No, not even half." My mother sounded sad, so I hurriedly hung up the phone. I did not feel like another crying bout at the moment. When Uncle Charles was leaving for Jamaica, my mother was depressed for weeks, and now her favorite sister was leaving. I opened the box. I was so happy that my mother did not volunteer to come over and help. Otherwise, I would have been distracted. In the box were piles and piles of envelopes, all shapes and sizes, some of them brown at the corners from age. It did not take long for me to realize that they were ordered according to their dates. Wow, my aunt was very careful with her correspondence. The first one was dated October 1970. The writing across the envelope said, Beryl Phillips. It was bold and distinct. I opened the mail reverently and made myself comfortable. October 25. Dear Beryl, I saw you entering the churchyard. Your pink dress was swaying in the wind, and your ponytail was glistening in the sun. I did not love you then. I loved you when I heard you sing in the choir. It was as if we were alone, and the joy you were feeling was just for the two of us. Will you do me the honor of saying hello the next time I sneak into church to hear you sing? Yours truly, Courtney. October 30. Dear Beryl, I was sitting in the market when I saw you pass by with your sister. Would it be too bad if you called to me? I know that I am dirty and I don't look at much, but I did write you one letter before. I suppose that we were friends after the letter, but I guess not. Why did you buy Mr. Frank's yam and not mine? I farmed my yams by the sweat of my brow, and when you become my wife, we will be farming together. Next time, please try to support me. Our future income depends on regular customers. Your future husband, Courtney. November 3. Dear Beryl, I have a severe problem. Every time you pass by my house, I am gripped with sudden trembling. My knees knock together and I'm covered in sweat. Last Wednesday, I was unable to go to the yam fields because I saw you early in the morning. I was paralyzed for most of the day. They took me to the doctor and I told him I only had the symptoms when I see you. He told my father I had love problems. I'm hiding behind the house now to write to you because my father decided to beat the problem out of me. I will suffer because of you, Beryl. There is no mountain I will not climb, no coconut tree that I will not scale for you. I know that you have heard of the church concert. Can I please take you? I know that you may think that the red shirt and the blue shorts are my only piece of clothing, but I do have a khaki suit. I could wear that. Please say yes, Beryl. Yours truly, Courtney. November 17. Dear Beryl, I know that Kurt Blake has more cows and goats than I do, and that he goes to school every day. But you could have just said you would not come to the dance with me. Instead, you showed up with him. Are you afraid of the powerful feelings that you have for me? Is that why you refuse to talk to me? That's okay. I understand. I was fearful at one time about my feelings for you too, but I decided to face my fears. Can we meet at the back of your classroom at lunchtime? I made something just for you. Yours truly, Courtney. December 12. Dear Beryl, why did you tell your mother and me? I was so embarrassed when she gave me a lecture on class and good breeding. I'm a poor boy, it's true. I live in a shack and I farm for a living, but that should not bother you in the face of our love. I can read and write, and we will always have food on the table. Please tell her it's okay. I wrote a song for you. It's called Angel. That's what I wanted to sing for you, but another time. It's 13 days till Christmas, and my father is killing a goat. Would you like some manish water when you are passing? Courtney. December 18. Dear Beryl, I was so overjoyed to get your first letter. What is an impervious imbecile? It sounds romantic. I will treasure those words forever. I know I sell in the market, but what is an uncouth market boy? I love you too, Beryl. I never knew that you returned my feelings until now. Your impervious, uncouth imbecile, Courtney. I was laughing quietly as I read Aunt Beryl's letters, and I realized that this Courtney fellow was persistent. I could just imagine Aunt Beryl telling him off, but he was so glad for any correspondence from her, an insult would have no effect. Much of the years 70 and 71 went on the same, with Courtney pleading for attention. Then I realized that the year 1972 was different. The tones of the letters changed. January 24. Dear Beryl, thank you for the birthday gift. It was lovely. When you said you were an artist, I did not know that you were a professional. I will treasure it forever. I got the scholarship for Micah Teachers College in Kingston. Can you believe it? I will become a teacher or probably a principal like your father, and then I can date you without hiding. Paul will help Papa on the farm, so I will worry much because he does not know the difference between the back or front of a cow. Can we go to the river and talk this Valentine's Day instead of me sitting stiffly on the veranda under your father's watchful, disapproving eyes? Love, Courtney. February 15. Dear Beryl, I can't believe you really said it. You love me. Did you have too much of the fermented June plum wine? Call me a coward, but I would prefer to ask you this in writing. Would you do me the favor of becoming my wife? Don't answer me yet. Don't answer. I'm afraid of the answer. Just know that I want to ask. February 19. Beryl. Did you say yes when you passed yesterday? I heard a dull roar in my ears when I saw your nod, and then you said yes. Was that to another question, or was that to the question? Please reply, Beryl. I'm shaking with uncertainty. I paused before I opened the other letter. My aunt had a love in her past. How sweet. I felt as if I should not be reading any more of her intensely personal mails. But I was curious, so I opened another. It was little more than a note. February 20. Thank God. I will ask your father tonight for your hand. Everyone in my house is happy because I am so happy. My mother said you are a good catch. I love you like 1,000 yam hills. I love you more than a moo on a cow, a bleat from a sheep, an awning on a market stall. I will cherish you like the first crop on the sorrel field. I love you. April 20. I was not going to write. I was so sad when your father said I was not good enough. He said we are too young. He said I should look after my goats and leave you in peace. I probably should not have told him that I would make you as happy as my cow Sheba on a fertile field. What was I supposed to do? I was nervous. Can we meet by the river tonight, please? April 21. Last night was the best night of my life, the first kiss. I know that I could wax poetic about the moonlight in your hair, the pleasure of your touch, but I know that it is risky to write anything much. Courtney. May 26. Yes, I'm going to school in August. When I get back, we will marry despite the odds. I will come back for your 18th birthday. It will be okay. You'll see. I realized I was learning more about my aunt from the letters than I ever did before. I read the letters until I came to the year 1975, the year we all left Jamaica. Dear Beryl, please don't go. You don't have to. I finish school next month. We can marry and stay out here. I will take care of you. I will get a job and everything. You know I can't come now. I have Papa to take care of. His health is failing, and Paul is more neglectful than ever. Last week, he was caught trying to brush the cow's teeth with his toothbrush. My family needs me now more than ever. Don't go. Tears came to my eyes at the earnest nature of the letter. I put away the letters I had already read and went to get some water. The decision to come to America must have been really hard on Beryl. I was about to get back to reading when Aunt Beryl walked through the door. It was no emergency. She started talking, and then she saw my face. What were you doing, crying? I nodded and went and hugged her. Which year are you at? She asked me curiously. 75, I murmured in her ear. She started laughing. Do you realize that there are 20-odd years of letters after that? I know, but it was so sad. His pain, you could touch it. Well, that's true. We were young and so in love. She sat in the chair and plucked out an envelope on the top pile. May 20, 2002, she started reading aloud. Dear Beryl, as usual with everything important, I have to write a handwritten letter. The email is not the same as seeing your scrawl across a sheet of paper. Don't be outraged. Please respond in kind. I love your scrawl. I'm happy you are moving back to Jamaica. We can finally do the things we should have done 20 years ago. I'm arranging a homecoming you will never forget. I love you, Courtney. Oh, I whispered. I had no idea. I see him 3 times a year, Aunt Beryl said, and we talk on the phone often. He's my all-time love. I'm going back to Jamaica to marry him and give him some babies. What does he do now? I asked curiously. Wouldn't you know it? He's a writer. He writes poetry, songs, screenplays, letters. She pointed to the letters on the couch that I had already read and laughed. I get my letters from Yard every month for the past 20 years. Did he ever marry? Never. The man waited 20-odd years for me to say yes again. She had a pleased, faraway look in her eyes. He pursued me single-mindedly and gave me some farm lyrics until I had to take notice. Do you know what he finally said to gain my attention back in 71? I sat up, interested to hear more. He came to church and waited for me at the front with an earnest look in his eyes. He said, Miss Beryl. He looked around furtively, as if he was going to tell me the biggest secret. Then he whispered, My cow Sheba has a delicate moo that I have not heard on any other creature. I wanted to tell you that you have topped that moo today with your song. I laughed until I was dizzy. It's not every day a girl's voice gets compared to a cow's moo. I actually liked the bugger after that. He was growing on me after a year of consistent letters. I want to go back home, I whined. I want to meet my uncle-to-be. Christmas, Aunt Beryl whispered. I stood on the lush green lawns of my aunt's house in Trelawney on Christmas Day. I could see the sea in the distance like a blue jewel. There was not a cloud in the sky. The breeze was indeed running through my fingers. I stared at my aunt, resplendent in her ivory dress, as she took her vows before her family and friends to wed Courtney Black. He was a handsome man and was obviously very smitten with Beryl. Time had not dimmed his love. I realized that I had not seen Beryl happier. She was finally marrying her farm boy. Courtney pulled a fragile piece of paper from his pockets. I have something to say, he grinned at Beryl, and she grinned back. The pastor gave his assent. Courtney read out loud, I love you more than 1,000 yam hills. I love you more than a moo on a cow, a bleat from a sheep, an awning on a market stall. Like the roar of the river, my heart beats in tumultuous rhythm. My pulse quickens at the inhalation of your breath. I will trust you with my heart like a newborn pup trusts its mother. I will cherish you like the first crop on the sorrel field, and like 1,000 yam vines striving to reach toward the heavens. I hope our marriage will be so intertwined as together we grasp all the beauty and the blessings of God. I love you. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, and subscribe. Check the description box for more stories and find my books on Amazon. See you in the next story.